Chapter 2. He decided to look into her duffel bag. There wasn't much there, that was for sure. An odd looking teddy bear, a couple of t shirts, a pair of jeans, a couple of pairs of underwear, and a bra. At the bottom was an envelope. He looked inside. It must be the money she had saved up. He counted them. There were over $3,000 there. He went over to his hidden safe and put the money in there for her. He took note of the sizes of her clothes and put them all neatly in the top drawer of his dresser. He left her to sleep and mind-linked his beta Marco to meet him in his office. Marco was already there waiting for him with a big grin on his face. Duncan chuckled. Not much happens here that he doesn't know or find out. So Duncan, did you find something interesting at the Rising Nasty Moon Pack? You know I did, asshole. I found my mate and you are not going to believe who she is. Well, don't keep me waiting in suspense. Drama queen, who is she? She is the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. Her name is Spare Williams. Yes, as in the Williams of Rising Moon Pack. She is their second pup. Fraternal twins. She is nothing like that skanky slut Lily. She found me knocked out on the hotel floor. She is, or rather was, a maid there. Spare as in a spare tire. That isn't a nice name, Marco said with disgust. How could a mother do that to her child? Seriously, this pack is a piece of shit. Did you get any evidence before they made you? I got some names of places to look up and names of missing girls. Not all of them are wolves either. It seems they like variety. They are taking girls from human towns too, not too many at a time, and not at the same place. Maybe your mate will know a few things. I don't think so. She was living in the shadows. I doubt many pack members even knew of her existence. You are right though. It won't hurt to ask her, even though she is pissed at me right now. Oh, really? And pray to tell you why she is pissed at you. Did you use your not so charming charm on her? Perhaps. Nope. As it turns out, I ruined her plans to escape her pack. She was saving up every penny to make her way to college. I don't know what her life was like, but I can tell you it wasn't all that good. She's underweight for one thing. She's as jumpy as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory. I can also tell you she's smart and clever as well. She's also fast and is probably going to plan to escape here as well. At least till we can show her what a pack is really like. To be honest, I don't think her plan of escaping would have worked. Even though they treated her the way they did, I don't think they would have liked her leaving. They would think perhaps that she knew too much. We will take it slow, Duncan. She is going to be scared and untrusting for a while, but we will win her over. Show her she doesn't have to give up her dreams either. Duncan, with Marco, went off to check the border patrol, and then I was off to bed. I sat in my office, watching the fire in the fireplace, thinking of my wonderful mate and all the things that she was going to have to go through to be normal again. I know I'm going to have to take it slow with her and earn her trust. I was going to go back to her family house and have a look around. I would have to use his special talent to become invisible. That whole pack is a den of vipers in serious need of being taken down. As for Spare's dreams of college, I had no problem helping her achieve that dream. I'd also going to have her change that name of hers. He wasn't going to let that name be a reminder of what they did to her for the rest of her life. I texted Marnie, my sister, asking her to get her enough clothes for a few weeks until they could take her shopping. Marnie was a very cheerful and wise 19-year-old she-wolf, but she also had a mean side if anyone messed with someone she cared for. She texted back that she would be there tomorrow afternoon with all the things that Spare might need. When it was time for bed, I had someone bring a spare cot to my bedroom. I wasn't going to frighten her right at the start by climbing into bed with her. When I got into my room, her scent hit me like a runaway train. My wolf wanted to mate her and mark her right now. I cooled him off by reminding him that they had to earn her trust first. There she was, sound asleep in her bed. She might not know it yet, but it was going to be the only bed she would be sleeping in for the rest of her life. She was clutching that weird bear and my pillow. I'm going to have to ask her what the deal was with that bear. It looked like it was pieced together from a bunch of other stuffed toys. She was even more gorgeous in her sleep. God, her scent took on a warmer, sleepy quality to it, making my mouth water and my cock hard in anticipation. Sigh, this isn't going to be easy to go slow. I knew I was in for several cold showers, so I walked into the bathroom for my first one. Chapter 3. Spare woke up feeling like she was still dreaming. The bed was so warm and soft, and there was a lingering scent that drove her crazy as she rubbed her face all over the pillow. She had never had a bed so comfortable before. She woke with a start, not knowing where she was, till Artemis lazily informed her that they had spent the night in their mate's bed. She quickly got out of bed and looked around the room. It was huge and there weren't a lot of decorations. On one side, there was a couch with a really large TV. The colors were mostly blue and gray. You could tell it belonged to a man. When she turned to look at the rest of the room, she saw him asleep on a cot. He didn't look very comfortable. He was half hanging off it. She silently made her way over to him. The blanket was down around his hips as he was snoring softly. She took him in. No one should look this good. His broad shoulders and dark hair covering his well-muscled chest. She followed that hair to where it disappeared under the blanket. Artemis was panting so hard that Spare started breathing harder too. His scent was so strong right here that she couldn't control her hands. She managed to stop herself before she almost touched him. She turned and found another door. Upon opening it, she found, to her joy, a bathroom. She had to pee so badly that her eyeballs were floating. She wondered what the rest of the place was like. When she went into the bathroom, Duncan opened his eyes. He pretended to be asleep to see what she would do. He could still smell her arousal in the air. Running his hand through his hair in frustration, mind linking his wolf. Apollo, this is going to be the toughest thing we have ever done. Apollo grumpily agreed and went back to sleep. He got up, put on some casual clothes, and waited for her to finish in the bathroom. He picked up her shoes, but they had holes in the bottom, so she put a piece of duct tape over them. He took the envelope with her money out of the safe and put it on the side table. He didn't want her to think she couldn't keep it. He went over to the drawer where he had put her clothes the previous night, and there was nothing great about them. She wasn't going to be happy, but there was no way Luna was going to wear those clothes ever again. He stood up and went to sit on his cot just as she was coming out of the bathroom. They looked at each other for a little while. Spare blushed and finally looked away. She sat down on the bed, defeated. Duncan saw this and cringed as he went and sat down on the bed beside her. I have ordered breakfast for us both to eat here. I hope that we can talk about everything. She was grateful for that. She hadn't felt like meeting new pack members just yet. Just then a knock came at the door. Duncan opened it, and two girls came in giggling as they sat down, the two trays loaded with food and drinks. They left as quickly as they came, which Spare was happy about. She didn't need anyone giving her looks. She hated being in the spotlight. It made her feel vulnerable. She sat down at the table looking at all the food. It smelled like heaven. Is this all for me? He nodded, not knowing how to respond to that. She wasted no time. Grabbing her fork, she dug into the food with gusto. Duncan watched her eat. At least she had an appetite. It did make him wonder just how bad things were for her at that house. She was going to get all the food and snacks that he could give her. So, little wolf, tell me about that weird looking teddy bear. What is his story? His name is Max. I made him when I was 6 years old. I wasn't allowed any toys of my own. My sister, though, would throw huge tantrums and destroy her stuffed animals. So one day I started collecting parts out of the garbage and made Max. Did you do anything with your family? No, I had to stay out of sight. I wasn't even allowed to use the front door. Duncan was getting more and more pissed at this conversation. Duncan was getting more and more pissed as this conversation progressed and taking a deep breath to calm himself and his wolf down. How about food? If you were not allowed to be around them, how did you eat? When I was little, I waited for everyone to go to bed and then I would sneak down and steal some food. If they noticed things were missing, they never said, though I was punished badly when I got caught on one of my runs out of my room. Okay, he was going to have stopped asking those questions or he would be punching out the walls. I know that I messed up your plans to get out of there and go to college. However, let me say this first. You can go to any college you wish and study whatever you like. She got up and grabbed the envelope with her money inside and she handed it to him. Here, take this to help pay for my things. It isn't a lot, really, but it's something. I can also work cleaning or cooking to earn the rest of it. You're not going to worry about money ever again. That money is yours to spend on whatever thing that catches your fancy. I don't want it. and you will not try to give it to me or anyone in this pack. If you do any cleaning or cooking, it is because you want to, not because you feel like you should pay for being here. I'm going to spoil your I'm going to spoil you rotten even if you don't like it. My little wolf, you are my mate and no one is going to hurt you ever again. You will want for nothing. She just stared at him with her mouth open in shock. You can't be my mate. Claiming a mate is a bad thing in our pack. Well, not every time, but usually more so than not. What do you mean by claiming a mate is a bad thing? Well, I only hear gossip here and there. But the last two girls that found their mates were rejected and disappeared the next day. Everyone said it was because of the pain of the rejection that they would come back in a while. But they never returned, and just last weekend it happened again to two more girls. I also heard rumors that their mates sold them. Duncan sat there in silence, stunned. What the hell was going on in that pack? Could they all be slime balls? Were the males rejecting their mates to make money? Spare. I want you to know that that is not normal behavior for mates. A mate is your other half, to be cherished and loved forever. It's a gift from the moon goddess. One more thing, I want you to choose another name besides Spare. I will not have that insult slapped in your face every time someone speaks your name. I don't know a name to choose, to be honest. I don't know a name to choose, to be honest. I will come to you, don't worry, you have lots of time. My sister Marnie will be here soon. She has new clothes for you and all kinds of things. I'm sure she loves shopping. Perhaps you two can come up with a name. Just for today and tomorrow, too. I want you to relax and pamper yourself. When Marnie gets here, do whatever the girls do when they are together. Duncan, I didn't have any friends. My only friend is my wolf Artemis. At the mention of her wolf, Apollo perked up and started to tell Duncan what questions to ask them. What does your wolf look like? Can you shift? Do you want me to show you? Duncan just nodded his head. The fact that she would show him meant that at least she had a little bit of trust in him. Okay, but turn around. I have never been naked in front of anyone before. Duncan turned around. After a little bit, he heard a small woof behind him. He turned back around to see the most beautiful wolf he had ever seen. She was snowy white with little black tips on her paws. She had even darker eyes than Spare did. Apollo was dancing around excitedly in his head. Artemis just sat and stared at him like she was sizing him up. Duncan quickly got undressed and changed into Apollo. He was a golden wolf with glowing amber eyes. Apollo goes down into a lying position so as not to intimidate Artemis. Artemis let out an excited little bark and went to Apollo, rubbing herself all over him. Apollo lay there smugly. Duncan felt his joy and was happy for him. Apollo spoke to Duncan. You will have yours soon too. We just have to gain her trust. She has been through too much. She needs time to heal.